Ross Clark is leader writer and columnist at The Spectator. You see him in other titles as well. Why is she doing this, Ross? Good morning.
Good morning. Well, straight answer, Nick, to your question is because she was asked. I think if a politician is asked their position on a particular subject, particularly a party leader, I mean, the public is entitled to an answer. And I think she's got this right. I think she's dead against a national ban on the burqa. It's not up to the government to lay down what people shouldn't wear. But on the other hand, she's saying that businesses, and she includes herself as a constituency MP holding surgeries in that sort of category, have a right to say the burqa should not be worn in particular circumstances. And what she said really is only just the same as what Jack Straw said many, many years ago when he was Home Secretary. And he said when constituents come into his surgery wearing a veil, he asked them to lift it because it made communication very, very difficult with his constituents. Admittedly, he probably had a few more burqa wearers in Blackburn than
Yes.
Kemi Badenoch has in Saffron Walden.
I
But
think you're right. So is this going to be Conservative policy, do you think, Ross?
well, it would seem to be, shouldn't it? I mean, I think, it's always been Conservative policy not to have a burqa ban. Tories were in power for 14 years, and they always never at any point did, from what I remember, did they call for propose to ban the burqa in the manner that France has done. But
She did cite France, of course, didn't she?
sorry.
She did cite France. She does
She did
reference
cite
France.
yes, yeah, no, absolutely, and she quite rightfully says that France has far more rancid relations between the Muslim community and the rest of the country than we do in Britain. I think banning the sort of blanket ban on the burqa would be sort of an outrage. Really, it's a
Right.
a limitation on personal freedom that we just do not need, and it doesn't help France, it doesn't help
No, it doesn't.
Denmark and all those other countries which have banned it. But businesses have a right to, I think, to carry out business as they wish to, and if they don't want people wearing burqas in their premises, then
So be it. Ross Clark, thank you. Your leader, writer and columnist with The Spectator, 12 minutes after 7. Listening to that, Anila Baig, who's journalist and commentator. An employer able to tell staff you can't wear a burqa. Where would you be on that? Good morning.
Good morning. I think that already happens. I don't have an issue with that. And let's just get down to the difference between the burqa and the face veil. So the burqa, in all my years, in my decades of living in Bradford, never seen it. It's the all-in-one with the mesh, and I've never seen anyone wear that on the streets of Bradford.
Right.
So I can't imagine anyone in a workplace wearing that either.
Right. What do you take from what Mrs. Badenoch said on Friday?
I find it a bit rude. I find it feels like it's a stick to beat the Muslim community with, and I kind of feel it's irrelevant. Like I said, nobody wears the burqa, and since COVID, when we were all wearing face coverings, the argument always was, well, if you've got your face covered, you can't communicate, but we all wore them.
Is it, along with Sharia courts, cousins getting married, are they barriers to integration in your view, Anila?
No, I think that this integration, I live in Bradford, I've lived here all my life, and I feel like it's such a myth about that the Muslim community separates itself. It really doesn't. Just because a woman chooses to cover her face as part of her religion, it doesn't mean that she's cut off from everybody else. I tell you, one time I was driving through Bradford, and at a bus stop there was a biker chick, and she was chatting away to a Muslim woman in niqab.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with Bradford, but I'm very familiar with Leicester because my mother was raised there. And there are areas of Leicester which are very much where Muslims or other faiths choose to live. It's not like that in Bradford.
There are, obviously, but what I'm saying is that it's perpetuated this myth that, if you go into a Muslim area, you're going to be like ostracized.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but it's just that they are, understandably, they've developed strong community links that means that it feels probably more an area like there than it would the old Leicester mum grew up in.
Yeah, that's like birds of a feather flock together. It's not doesn't mean that they don't mix in the wider community.
OK, I'm grateful. I don't know Bradford, but thank you for your input and enjoy life up there, one of the jewels of Yorkshire. Anila Baig, thank you, a journalist and commentator.